Master Notes, Sociology Optional, HPAS 2024, I Introduction. Sociologically, energy is not just a physical resource, joules, watts, but a social necessity that dictates the structure of civilization. Fred Cottrell, Energy and Society, argued that the amount of energy available limits the range of human action. The energy crisis is therefore a crisis of social organization. Similarly, environmental awareness represents a shift in our collective consciousness, moving from materialist values, economic security, to post-materialist values, quality of life, as theorized by Ronald Inglehart. 2. Topic 3.3, The Energy Crisis. A. Social and economic implications of consumption patterns. Why does energy matter sociologically? Energy stratification. Access to energy defines class status. The energy-rich, global north, urban elites, consume exponentially more than the energy-poor, global south, rural, creating a global energy apartheid. Dependence on high-energy lifestyle. Modern complex societies are addicted to high energy for mobility, comfort, HVAC, and digital infrastructure, making them fragile to supply shocks. The energy civilization equation. Sociologist Leslie White argued culture evolves as the amount of energy harnessed per capita increases. A crisis here threatens cultural regression. Energy poverty and gender. In developing nations, lack of clean energy forces women to rely on biomass, wood, dung. This reinforces patriarchy by trapping women in domestic drudgery, gathering fuel, and exposing them to indoor pollution. Centralization of power. Fossil fuel systems require centralized grids and massive corporations, leading to a technocratic elite controlling resources, unlike decentralized renewables, solar, which favor energy democracy. Inflation and cost of living. Energy is an input for everything: food, transport, manufacturing. A crisis leads to greenflation or general inflation, disproportionately hurting the working class, Marxist view. Urbanization driver. High energy consumption is concentrated in cities, heat islands. The rural hinterland is often reduced to a resource colony, coal mines, dams, to feed the urban beast. Automation and labor. Cheap energy allowed machines to replace labor. An energy crisis might force a return to labor-intensive production, altering the labor market. Consumerism, Veblen, energy allows for the mass production of status goods. The crisis challenges the capitalist logic of infinite growth on a finite planet. Digital divide. The modern digital economy, AI, crypto, cloud, is incredibly energy intensive. Energy scarcity widens the gap between the digitally connected and the disconnected. B. Linkages, pollution, geopolitics, and sustainability. Pollution, the sink problem. We focused on the source, running out of oil, but the real crisis is the sink. Atmosphere cannot absorb more carbon. Concept. Ulrich Beck's Risk Society. Energy production creates risks, smog, radiation, that cross borders. Geopolitics, resource wars, dependency theory. Core nations, West, exploit peripheral nations, Middle East, Africa, for oil. Conflict. From the 1990 Gulf War to the Russia-Ukraine gas crisis, energy security drives foreign policy. Sustainable development. The dilemma. Developing nations, like India, need energy for poverty alleviation, 7 Sudanese pounds, but are pressured to decarbonize. This creates a debate on common but differentiated responsibilities, CBDR. 3. Topic 3.4, Environmental Awareness. A. Growth of ecological consciousness, 10 dimensions, shift to post-materialism, Inglehart, as basic economic needs are met, society's value, belonging, and environment, more. The New Ecological Paradigm, NEP, a cognitive shift acknowledging that humans are not exempt from ecological laws, Riley Dunlap. Visible disasters. Awareness often spikes after shocks, e.g., Chernobyl, Amazon fires, Joshamart sinking. This is event-driven consciousness. Scientific validation. The IPCC reports have moved environmentalism from hippie culture to hard science, forcing policymakers to listen. Intergenerational justice. The youth, Gen Z, view climate inaction as a theft of their future, e.g., Greta Thunberg's Fridays for Future. Indigenous knowledge revival. Recognition that tribal communities, e.g., Bishnois of Rajasthan, possessed inherent ecological consciousness long before modern science. Eco-spiritualism. Religious leaders reinterpreting texts to support conservation, e.g., Pope Francis's Laudato Si encyclical. Consumer activism. Rise of ethical consumerism. People buying organic, sustainable products to signal identity and force corporate change. Judicial activism. Courts, NGT in India, recognizing the right to a healthy environment, Article 21, has mainstreamed legal awareness. Global connectivity. Social media allows local struggles, e.g., Save RA Forest, to gain global solidarity instantly. B. Role of agencies in fostering awareness. Agency. Sociological role and function. Media. Agenda setting. Media decides what is a crisis. Framing. Can frame issues as political debates or existential threats. Critique. Often focuses on disaster porn, sensationalism, rather than slow violence, soil degradation. Education. Socialization. Schools instill green values early, e.g., MC Mehta case mandated ENV. Edu in India. Hidden curriculum. Schools practicing waste segregation teach civic duty implicitly. Civil society. New social movements, NSMs, unlike trade unions, class-based, NSMs, Greenpeace, Chipko, unite people across classes for quality of life. Watchdogs. NGOs expose greenwashing by corporations. IV. Critical analysis, sociological dimensions, perspective. Analysis. Ivan Illich. In Energy and Equity, he argues high energy use leads to social inequality. Beyond a certain point, speed, cars, planes, creates time poverty and segregates society. Social constructionism. Energy crisis is socially constructed. We aren't running out of energy. Sun, wind exist. We are running out of cheap, easy to extract energy that sustains capitalism. Ecological modernization. The optimistic belief that green tech, EVs, solar, can solve the crisis without changing our consumption habits. Critics call this a techno-fix illusion. Giddens paradox. We know about the crisis, awareness is high, but we don't act because the consequences feel distant. We wait for catastrophe to force action. Eco-elitism. Critique that environmental awareness is often an upper caste class hobby in India, ignoring the survival struggles of the poor who rely on forests. V. Impact on society. Negative impacts, the challenges, eco-anxiety, rising mental health issues among youth fearing climate collapse, solastalgia, distress caused by environmental change. Green bashing, backlash against environmental policies by workers in fossil fuel sectors, e.g., Yellow Vest protests in France. Positive impacts, the solutions, prosumerism, consumers becoming producers, e.g., households with rooftop solar, decentralizing power. Green jobs, shift towards a circular economy creating new forms of employment. V. Way forward. Just transition. Moving away from fossil fuels must ensure social security for coal, oil workers so they don't fall into poverty. Energy democracy. Community-owned renewable energy projects, e.g., Dharnai Solar Village, Bihar, to empower locals. Nudging, behavioral economics, designing choices to encourage energy saving, e.g., default off switches, smart meters. Ecological citizenship, redefining citizenship to include duties toward the planet, not just the state. Decoupling, breaking the link between economic growth, GDP, and environmental degradation through circular economy models. 7. HPAS Special, Himachal Context and Questions. A HP-specific addendum for high scores, the power state dilemma. Himachal markets itself as the battery of India, hydro potential. Sociological conflict. This creates a center-periphery conflict. Electricity goes to Delhi, Punjab, while Kinnaur, Lahore bear the ecological cost, landslides, drying springs. Success in awareness, polythene ban, 1999, HP was the first state in Southeast Asia to ban plastics. This wasn't just law, it was successful due to community policing and high literacy, awareness, civil society role. Eco clubs. The National Green Corps is very active in HP schools, successfully socializing children into green habits, education role. Local movements. No means no, Kinnaur, a modern environmental movement led largely by tribal youth and women, using social media to highlight the existential threat of dams. B. Model questions for HPAS 2024. Topic 3.3. The energy crisis is not merely a technical shortage of fuel but a crisis of social equity. Discuss this statement with reference to the concept of energy poverty. Topic 3.4. Analyze the role of new social movements in fostering environmental awareness in India. How do these movements differ from traditional class-based movements? HP specific. Himachal Pradesh represents a unique case where high environmental awareness coexists with high ecological vulnerability. Critically analyze the role of education and civil society in the state's environmental protection history. Critical thinking. Discuss Ivan Illich's critique of high energy societies. Is his concept of energy and equity relevant to the current debate on sustainable development? 8. Conclusion. The transition from an energy hungry society to an ecologically conscious one is the defining challenge of the 21st century. As Gandhi stated, speed is irrelevant if you are going in the wrong direction. Sociologically, the solution lies not just in changing technologies, solar panels, but in changing values, from consumerism to contentment, and social structures, from centralized control to community democracy.